Welcome to the Savvy Shopkeeper Retail Podcast. I'm your host, Kathy Cruz. Just like you, I'm an independent retail business owner. I love the home decor and gift boutique I co-own with my sister, but I don't want it to consume me or my life. Join me each week as I share lessons learned, helpful tips, and valuable information for your retail business and life. Whether you're buying your products or making your products, whether you're a $25K business or a $2.5 million business, I'm on a mission to help indie retailers work less, profit more, and grow. Let's get started on today's episode. Welcome to episode 110 of the Savvy Shopkeeper Retail Podcast. Don't manage time, manage your mind. I'm your host, Kathy Cruz. My intention for this episode is to present you with a different way to think about time. Today's episode, I want to mention this, it's more of a conversation with you rather than a step-by-step lesson. You won't want to, or I don't think you'll need to take notes, but you will want to pay attention and you may want to listen to this one again. I know so many of you tell me that sometimes if you're driving in the car, you have to pull over to take notes, or that you have to stop my podcast episodes because you have to wait to listen during a time where you can take notes or you can focus more. But this one is more of a conversation with you, a little bit of sharing, a lot of lessons learned. And I think it's important when I first start teaching about time management that I start here. So time management, or whatever it is you want to call it, some people don't like those words, time management, but everyone is familiar with it. So that's what I'm going to say. It can be a touchy subject with shopkeepers. And if you want to know why, it's because we're overwhelmed and we don't manage our minds around this topic, around the topic of time. We can't say no. We suck at boundaries. We micromanage because we have control issues. We blame the lack of time on other people or other things, or we want to blame time itself. And I say all of this, and I say we, because I've done all of this too. We get annoyed that we only have 24 hours in a day. The truth is, we're in denial. You can wish for more time in a day. You really can. You can sit there and wish for a 48-hour day. But hear this. If we had 48-hour days, we would probably still have the same problems. Remember episode 34 where I broke down some of the different shopkeeper personalities like overwhelmed Opal and can't say no Kathy or lack of planning Linda? There were some guys' names in there too. So yeah, these lovely ladies and gentlemen are back. That was episode 34. And I use those names to bring attention to some of our bad habits and some of our personality traits, but to also have fun with it. So don't take me too seriously. Obviously, I have one in there named Can't Say No Kathy, so I was making fun of myself too. But there's a lot of resistance when I coach around this topic, and I understand why. My brain is stubborn too. Man, my brain is stubborn. We often want to believe that there's a magic solution to managing our time. But it's just like dieting, or for some people, it's like managing money. It's the process of getting healthy and managing money that can be so hard for some people. Like we have to learn how to get better at this. And usually this involves changing our thinking. So I'm going to be transparent here. And this is important because I want you to understand the journey I've been on with this. 7 years ago, I was working full-time, I was working overtime hours, and I was opening the store with my sister. And at that time, even a 1-hour manicure appointment was draining to me. I mean, seriously. I look back at that now, and I think, wow, even self-care didn't bring me joy. Even that kind of appointment where I was supposed to be relaxing and enjoying it, even that 1 hour, it didn't bring me calm or peace or happiness. So I know what overworked looks like. I wanted to change this for myself years ago, more than 7 years ago, but really is when I started doing the work. And what I learned is I had to do the mind work. And I did it because I wanted to feel aligned again. I felt so out of alignment. I wanted to feel at peace with my life, with my schedule, with my work, with my relationships. My own journey on this topic started when I decided to retire early in 2017. It took me, after retiring, it took me over 3 years, plus a pandemic and lots of coaching. I was getting coached, a ton of mindset work. It took me that long to go from overwhelmed, overbooked, and exhausted to where I am now, which is none of those things. I recently ran a poll in our lab group and I asked about time management specifically. I asked members if this is something that they wanted to improve, and I gave them 3 options. One was, yes, I'm struggling over here, exclamation point. The other poll response was, I'm struggling in some areas of my life and business, but not all. And then the last option was, nope, I'm good. I don't need any help on this in this area. And I want to share the results with you. 72% said, yes, I'm struggling over here. Only less than 1% said no, that they didn't need help in this area. Less than 1%. And then the rest said they need some help in some areas of their life and or business, but not all. So that meant 99% of shopkeepers in our group membership want help on this topic. They want help with time management. 99%. So of course, I want to help. There is no way I can teach you everything there is on this particular subject in one episode. But I have to start somewhere, right? And that's where I'm starting today with this conversation. Where I'll start isn't by changing or fixing your calendar. It isn't time or calendar blocking, although that does come later, and I do love teaching about it. I would be lost without my Google Calendar. But where this transformation really begins is in your mind. When I looked back at previously recorded podcast episodes where I kind of touched on time management, I realized there was a pattern. They were all focused on our minds and making conscious decisions. So I'm going to actually share some of the episodes that I want you to listen to again, or go and listen to if you've never listened to them before. But if we're talking about time management, I think I recorded, 5 episodes. Episode 10 was titled Setting Boundaries While Maintaining or Growing a Profitable Retail Business. Episode 46 was 3 steps to help you stop running your business for other people. Episode 49, my number 1 time management tip, get unaddicted to your phone. And then episodes 65 and 66 were titled Stop Believing These Independent Retail Business Myths. It was a part 1 and a part 2. And in those myths, definitely there's some content about time management. So we will link all of these episodes in the show notes, or you can find them in your podcast app. They're all numbered and in order in your podcast app, so they should be easy to find. If you do want to write something down during this episode, it's probably the podcast numbers that I just shared. It's episodes 10, 46, 49, 65, and 66. So all of these episodes are mostly about habits and boundaries. And personally, I had to work on both habits and boundaries, and it has been hard. So hard. Even after nearly 4 years, I still have to work on them. The creep is real. You know, when you think you've taken care of something, but it creeps back into your life, that kind of creep. Yeah, that happens. I had to create good habits, cut out bad habits, and I definitely had to set boundaries with both myself and with loved ones. And we all know how hard that can be. Setting boundaries. And actually, both were hard. Setting boundaries with myself and setting boundaries with people I loved. I don't think they realized I was setting boundaries. I set them for myself. Recently, I wrote down a list of things that I could teach about related to time management, almost like mini lessons. I do this when I want to map out an idea that will help create content for shopkeepers. So after I was done with this kind of mini idea thought dump, I realized I had 46 items on this list, 46 mini lessons or full lessons that I can teach on this subject. So this is really important if you struggle with time management. Or let's say, for example, if you took a course on time blocking before, or if you signed up for a basic time management workshop, or even if you attended the 2021 retreat and you started to dive in on the worksheets that I shared there, because I think the first 2 or 3 lessons I taught at the retreat were around time management. So if you've done these things and then you realize you've taken a course, you attended the retreat and did some of those lessons, and you still feel like you're stuck and you're not making any progress, you still haven't created your ideal kind of work and life week, now you know why. There isn't one lesson alone that can make this better. I just told you I had 46 things on my list. So with that, I also don't want you to think, though, that it's impossible. It's not impossible. I'm here as proof. My own coach, who also teaches on this topic, is proof. Some of my clients are proof. We're proof that you can work less, profit more, and grow. Grow in life, grow in your businesses, grow in happiness, all of the things. The one thing that is going to make a difference is understanding that you can't change time. And the more you try to fight this, the more you're going to lose. You have to get your brain to understand that 24 hours is what's in a day, and then we have to go from there. I was working a job that required 40 to 70 hours of my time every week. I was opening and co-running a retail store with my sister. That was probably anywhere between 10 and 30 hours a week. I was building a family of my own who I wanted to spend more time with. So that was a lot of hours in a week, right? And my thought could have been, this is just the way it is. And I could have done nothing about it. I could have kept spinning my wheels. Oh gosh, I did not want to do that. I knew I wanted things to change. So instead, I had to work a ton on my mind and my thoughts. I had to do that to get me out of the time rut I was in. I had to train my brain to believe that I could actually make more by working less. For some of you, this thought alone can be mind-blowing. You're like, what? I can cut my hours in half and double my revenue? I know, because that was me. Many of you think the more I work, the more I make, but I promise this is not the case. So you're probably wondering, okay, Kathy, I've heard you share some of this before. I've heard you say some of these things before. So what can I do from here? That's why I'm here, is to start by telling you, first, accept that there are only 24 hours in a day. Second, listen to the episodes I mentioned earlier. Third, if you're a group member, thank you for answering my poll. It was very enlightening. It is giving me like a new mission for 2022. So get ready, because I will be teaching much more about this in our group memberships and in the academy this year. And last but not least, which is the whole point of this, is once you accept that you don't have to manage time, but that you do need to manage your mind, this is where things will change for you. This is where you can start to make progress. I have so much to share on this topic. And again, I can't possibly pack in 40 mini lessons in one episode, but I do realize that this is a big concern for many of you. So many of you feel so overwhelmed and overworked. underpaid, exhausted. Some of you don't, I get it. But because so many of you do, I actually want to help a little bit more in this area. So watch out for all of that. Group members, get ready. I plan on either going into the group live a little more often to share some of these mini lessons. I plan on creating helpful worksheets and tools and products to get you headed in the right direction. I don't want shopkeepers to feel this massive overwhelm and exhaustion, and I know I can help. So if you want to see the show notes to this episode or find links to anything I mentioned, visit my blog at savvyshopkeeper.com/episode 110, savvyshopkeeper.com/episode 110. And that's where we'll have all of those other podcast episodes that I mentioned linked. Thank you for listening. I appreciate it. One more thing, I haven't asked this in a while, but if you are enjoying the podcast, if you're binging the podcast, if you get value out of the podcast, please take a few minutes to go to the Apple Podcast app and leave a review. I genuinely appreciate it when you do this. And it only takes a few minutes. And I think for the most part, this has to be done on the Apple Podcast app. So if you don't have it, I get it. You can leave me a review somewhere else. But if this is really helpful to you and you have the Apple Podcast app, please leave a review. I appreciate it. Until the next episode, be savvy and boss up.